It's remarkable that the ancient Jewish people could maintain their faith, could maintain hope of any kind when they were oppressed and conquered so many times throughout their history, which was something I talked about last week in my sermon. And yet we have this looking forward, even when there was no hope in their midst, because they were under the control of one brutal empire or another. They had this dream of a day of redemption coming when God's reign would break into the world in some new way. And that's what these eschatological readings are about, that even Jesus seems to have taught. So today's reading comes from Luke chapter 21, verses 25 to 36. And again, Jesus and his disciples lived at a time when they had been conquered by Rome and were experiencing a great deal of oppression by the Roman Empire and others. So it's interesting because in Advent, at Christmas time, in our comfortable situation, we tend to turn it all into a sweet tale about welcoming a baby, which is good and lovely and wonderful. But the season is really about something else, which is why sometimes the readings in Advent are kind of dark, because they're coming from oppressed people who needed a deeper kind of hope, the hope of God's reign breaking into the world. So you'll hear both of those things in this reading. Sort of a day of the Lord coming, but a day that will bring hope to Jesus and his people. There will be signs in the sun, the moon, and the stars, and on the earth distress among nations, confused by the roaring of the sea and the waves, Jesus said. People will faint from fear and foreboding of what is coming upon the world, for the powers of the heavens will be shaken. Then they will see the human one coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And when these things begin to take place, stand up and raise your heads, because your redemption is drawing near. Then he told them a parable. Look at the fig tree and all the trees. As soon as they sprout leaves, you can see for yourselves and know that summer is already near. So also, when you see these things taking place, you know that the kingdom of God is near. Truly, I tell you, this generation will not pass away until all things have taken place. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. Be on guard so that your hearts are not weighed down with dissipation and drunkenness and the worries of this life, and that day catch you unexpectedly, for it will come upon all who live on the face of the whole earth. Be alert at all times, praying that you may have the strength to escape all these things that will take place and to stand before the human one. Here end the readings for this Sunday. May the church hear what the Spirit is saying today. I'd like to begin with a poem by Anne Weems from Kneeling in Bethlehem. It's full of poems for Advent and Christmas season. This one's called To Listen, to Look. Is it all sewn up, my life? Is it at this point so predictable, so orderly, so neat, so arranged, so right, that I don't have time or space to dream? Or for listening to dreams and watching for angels, let alone running to a stable to see an unexpected baby? Could this be what he meant when he said, listen, those who have ears to hear, look, those who have eyes to see? O God, give me the humility of those shepherds who saw in the cold December darkness the coming of light, the advent of love.